The trades are the new Silicon Valley startups, and just like yesterday we were worshiping all the tech founders, tomorrow we're going to be worshiping the builders. And I want to remind y'all, this was 25 years ago for me. When I was in high school, every high school teacher was very well aware and would tell every single student, if you don't go to college and get your bachelor's degree, you're going to be flipping burgers or doing construction for the rest of your life. But the joke is on them because I'm doing construction for the rest of my life. Hopefully most of y'all are too, and it's going to pay us better than most of those degrees ever would have paid us. Today the trades are the degree and the trades are the career plan. In fact, as AI continues to expand its own scale and scope of what it's capable of doing and continues to take more American jobs, we're finding that the trades are becoming one of the very last bastions of freedom left where you can escape the rat race of corporate America. So let's dive in and take a look at how and why the trades are becoming the 21st century's hottest startups that even the average Joe can get into. The first thing on the list, and probably even the least important, is just simply the low barrier to entry financially. If you want to be a landscaper, a plumber, an electrician, there's a basic set of tools that you need for each of those trades, and those tools don't cost much. And even if you're trying to become a handyman, and think about this, a handyman is going to be doing electrical, plumbing, roofing, landscaping, appliance repair, tile, flooring, all kinds of stuff. A handyman has to have not only the electrician's tools, not only the plumber's tools, and not only the roofer's tools, but all of the trades. You're going to have everything you need for all the trades. And even that, I promise you, isn't going to run you more than about $8,000. And if you don't believe me, I do have a video. In fact, I'll pop it up on the screen somewhere right here, a little link to it. I have a video you can go watch showing literally every single tool that you need to start your own handyman business, and it doesn't come up to more than $8,000. There's even a document you can download at 𝗪𝗡-handyman.com. Look for the link in the description to take you to that folder. It's a free document. I don't want anything from you for it, but you can go download that document, and it's got the entire list of all the tools you need and the links to find those tools online. And then once you've got all those tools handled, you're going to need about another $1,000 for your CRM, your insurance, your business license, forming your LLC, all the paperwork stuff. That's going to cost you $1,000 or less, so that puts you at $9,000. And then finally on top of that, maybe you want to go ahead and get a logo made, get some shirts made, get some hats made, get some business cards made, spend a little bit of money on swag, stuff you can pass out, maybe another $1,000 at most for that. So we're putting you at $10,000, $10,000 maximum. You can have every single tool you need to do every single trade, at least the basics of every single trade. Brand new, LLC, insurance, CRM, every damn thing you need for $10,000 to start your own business. That is a very low barrier to entry. The number two reason that the trades are the new Silicon Valley startups is that you get literally immediate cash flow. About 90% of y'all are going to be working for homeowners. Now, I like property managers, but most of y'all are going to be working for homeowners, and those homeowners are going to be paying you upon completion of the job. And most of the jobs take a few hours to maybe a few days. Most of y'all won't even be doing week-long jobs. So every few hours or every few days, you're going to be having that cash flow coming into the bank immediately, which means you don't need 3 months of operating capital sitting in the bank, and you don't need 3 months of inventory sitting on the shelf. You don't need any of that initial investment. You get cash flow immediately from work that you're doing immediately, which is going to make it way easier to reinvest back into yourself, back into the business, get your bills paid, get that financial stress off of your mind so you can focus on actually building and growing your business. Now, number three is the low skills barrier to entry. You actually don't have to know a whole lot to get into the trades or into a handyman business. In fact, most of the work you're going to be doing as a handyman specifically, most of that work, the client who hired you could do that if they had the time and felt like doing it and wanted to just look it up on YouTube and learn how to do it. All these jobs are super, super easy. And I'm going to give you a confession, man. When I started my business, this business that I run today, when I started this 5 years ago, I had only done about half of the total jobs that I do now. If you go to my documents section at 𝗪𝗡-handyman.com, there's a link in the description, you're going to find a document that's a list of all the jobs that you may ever be possibly asked to do as a handyman. I also have some other software that'll show you those lists. And of that list, I can do all of those jobs. But what I'm going to tell you is when I started this business 5 years ago, I had never, ever done 50% of those jobs. So 50% of the jobs that I do today that my business has done for 5 years, fully half of them I had never done until the day that a property manager sent me a work order to do that job. And I showed up on site, I looked at it visually, I tinkered with it, I watched YouTube, I did some studying, and I walked away with the job done. I promise you, none of this work is hard. There's a very, very low skills barrier to entry. You can do this. You can do almost anything you want to do if you have the persistence and the stubbornness to just stick to it until you get it figured out. Number 4, it's extremely easy to start this business small and then scale later. You can start this like while you keep your job. Most people can't just quit their job and just go jump into a handyman business. I did, but I'm a little bit weird. But if you guys don't want to, the good news is it's very easy to just start this on the side, do it on nights and weekends, and then when you're ready, organically just grow into full-time. And what's really hilarious is you're actually going to be forced into it, because what I can tell you is that if you do a good job as a handyman, if you're simply professional and you do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it for the price you said you're going to do it for, and it's quality work, your clients are going to return time and time again, and they're going to refer you to everybody else. And the day is going to come when not only are you willing to quit your job and go full-time as a handyman, but you're not going to have any choice, because you're going to have your full-time job over here saying, hey, we need you to come in 5 days a week for $20 an hour. And then you're going to have all your clients over here saying, hey, we can keep you busy 24/7 at $100 an hour. Which one would you prefer? Most of y'all are going to go ahead and end up quitting your full-time job and diving in full-time as a handyman business. Number 5 is going to be a little bit contentious, but in my opinion, even if you have almost no experience, you have very, very little competition in the handyman world and even in the trades in general. And the reason for this is there's really 2 types of owner-operator, handyman, electricians, plumbers, doesn't matter. There's only 2 types of these small owner-operators in the trades. Type number 1 is the type who can't get a job, can't keep a job, just sucks at having jobs, and they really have no choice. After you've gotten fired enough times and you figure out you can't work for other people, when you figure that out, you end up in the trades, and you end up in the trades not with a job, with a supervisor that you're going to punch in the face later because you can't control your temper. You end up in the trades as a business owner, as a subcontractor, an individual owner-operator. That's type number 1 that ends up owner-operators in the trades. Type number 2 is hopefully like you. Type number 2 is just simply a father, a son, a husband who wants to build a better life for himself and the people he loves, and he decides that he's willing to put in the work to start the business, to build something bigger and better for him and his family. That's type number 2. And unfortunately, about 90, let's say 80-90% of the trades are type number 1, and it's only about 10 or 20% that are type number 2. So if you can just be a professional and nothing more. Like I was saying before, if you just simply act like a professional, have insurance, have a business license, use a professional CRM, answer your phone, get back to people when they call, speak to them like a professional, show up the day you said you're going to show up, at the time you said you're going to show up, not drunk, not high, not hungover, not stinking, wearing clean clothes, acting like a pro, doing the thing you said you're going to do at the quality level you said you're going to do it at, for the price that you promised to do it for. You're good, man. You're solid. I don't know what else to say. If you can do that, you're literally in the top 10% of your field within your locality. You're in the top 10% of plumbers if you do that. Top 10% of handymen if you do that. So you can go from 0 to top 10% just like that, just by treating your business like a business. Number 6, you have a really, really high income potential in the trades. Whether it's a handyman or any of the specialized trades, you should pretty easily, pretty quickly, within about a year, be able to get yourself to that $600 to $1,000 per day point. That's actually not difficult to do. And now in the beginning, don't get me wrong, in the beginning, you're probably going to be happy and excited, and you should be happy and excited to make $200 to $300 a day. And that may seem to you, if you've never done this before, even that may seem nearly impossible. I promise you it's not. It's going to happen quickly. But in the beginning, $200 to $300 a day can and will and probably should make you pretty happy. But what's going to happen is you're going to start getting better at scheduling. And that's going to make you an extra $100 or $200 a day just by getting that scheduling down tighter and fitting in another small job or two per day. You're also going to get better at just planning your days out and understanding and predicting what tools and materials will I need. And you're going to not have to take so many trips to Home Depot, and you're not going to have so many days where you show up without the proper tooling, because you're going to get better and better at that. And then speaking of not going to Home Depot, you'll eventually start going, you know what? I go through a lot of smoke detectors. I'm going to keep about 12 of those on hand as a spare. And I go through a whole lot of garbage disposal, so I'm going to keep 2 of those on hand. And you're going to start building an inventory, which means you can fit in, again, another $100 or $200 worth of work during that day by scheduling an extra job or two with the time that you save by not going to Home Depot. And all of this is just going to compound. You're going to learn so many tricks all across the board, and you're going to get so comfortable with what you're doing that you're going to find yourself getting faster and faster, more and more efficient, more and more knowledgeable, until you get to the point that making $600 a day is just kind of something that you can do with your eyes closed. And making $1,000 a day is something that you can do with just a little bit of effort. And I'll tell you what a lot of guys do is they learn all of these tricks, but instead of trying to go and make $150,000 a year, maybe you're happy making $60 or $70 a year. If your family can be comfortable and you can feel secure at $70 a year, then you can just get that good. Get good enough to make $150 a year, but just work half as much and spend more time with your family. That's a totally viable option too. Number 7 is going to be how easy it is to get recurring revenue, which is like a holy grail for a startup. All you've got to do, as I've mentioned multiple times, that long list of things that I said, just show up on time, clean cut, do what you said you're going to do, at a high quality, for the price you said you're going to do it. These people are going to ask you back over and over and over again. Every little thing they need done that they're not capable of doing is going to go to you. When they need a plumber, they're going to call that handyman that did a great job at everything else for them and was always professional. When they need a roofer, same thing. When they need a cement slab poured for a basketball court, same thing. They're going to call you for everything. And I'm going to give you a little bit of an example on that. You know, I have 2 big main clients. I have a lot of smaller clients, but my business has been serving the same 2 large clients for 5 years now. And the reason I've been serving them for 5 years is because a quality handyman, despite the fact that I'm expensive, despite the fact that I won't give them free estimates, despite the fact that I won't use their software to schedule my jobs, all these things they don't like. Oh, and by the way, here's a funny story. Y'all don't care. Doesn't pertain to this video, but right now I actually have one property management company who has purposefully dropped down my workload in an effort to get me to start doing more of the things that they want me to do, like scheduling with their scheduling software and giving them free estimates. They've dropped my workload down, hoping that I'll break and decide to do that, but as I've learned in the past with them many times when they've tried to leave me for cheaper handymen, the truth is there aren't enough of us professionals out here, and come this spring, when all that work starts really flooding back in like mid-January, mid-February, when all that work floods back in, I can guarantee you they're going to come back just like they always have. And they don't really have to come back. I mean, they're not gone. I'm still getting a job or 2 from them every day, but it's not what it used to be. But I digress. Anyways, that property management company, which is comprised of multiple property managers, as well as my other large property management company, which is also comprised of multiple property managers, both of those 2 companies for the last 5 years have sent me most years $100,000 or more worth of work year in and year out. And as a startup, you just can't ask for anything more than that. And number 8, the trades offer immediate growth potential. And I already explained to y'all how you get from $200 or $300 a day to $600 to $1,000 a day. That's actually not too hard to do. You can do that in a year or 2. After that, another thing you can do is you're going to find that you're spending half of your time doing admin work, or at least almost half of your time doing admin work. So whether it's your wife or whether you hire somebody else, getting an office manager to handle that admin work and to communicate with all of your clients, and even maybe to bring on new clients, getting that office manager or admin person is going to almost double the amount of time that you have available to be billable on the job with tools in hand. So that can almost double your revenue when that happens. And once that happens, you've now opened up for yourself more freedom to do more work, but also to hire somebody and get them trained up. And you reach the point very quickly with a solid business, with a solid reputation, you're going to find yourself in a position where you've got the office manager, you've got your admin person, you're doing all the work, and all you've really got to do at this point is get another vehicle, get some new tools, put a new person in that vehicle, and start sending them out to do some of those jobs as well. And then before you know it, you get another person and another person. You're driving all over town, probably doing estimates and putting out fires, and you've got other people working for you. Now, that's not what I do, but I've watched that play out 1,000 times. If that's your goal, it's not my goal, but if that's your goal, this is very, very doable in the trades. Now, for number 9, in the trades, there's very little to no regulatory approval required to getting started. Now, there is some regulatory approval depending on how high you want to get within your particular trade, but to get started, I would say with the exception of kind of California, they're coming around, but with the exception of Washington, Oregon, and Florida, with the exception of those 3 states, most states will allow you as a handyman to go in and do upwards of $800, $1,000, even $5,000 or more dollars worth of work per job without any kind of licensing. And just to be clear, whatever state you're in, you need to check your state's laws. Here in Arizona, I can do anything that, number 1, doesn't require a permit, and number 2, doesn't cost more than $1,000. If it costs more than $1,000, I can't do it. If it requires a permit, I can't do it. But if neither of those are true, if it's under $1,000, doesn't require a permit, I, as a handyman in Tucson, can do that. I can work on just about plumbing, electrical, all of that stuff that you think you can't do. In most states you can do, as long as it doesn't require a permit and remains under some particular capped amount without a license. So very low regulatory approval hurdles that you need to get past. But like I said, to grow, oftentimes you will need to get that, but that's later on down the line. And number 10, the trades are AI resistant. But now I want you to notice I didn't say AI proof. In my opinion, ultimately nothing is AI proof. AI will eventually, as it expands its scope and its skills, it will eventually take over literally every single valuable task that any human being can do. But at the moment, it's great at art, it's great at data manipulation, it's got a small handful of things that it's great at. It's really good at writing software. I've been writing software with it, so it's good at those things. And then in the near future, it's going to be good at manufacturing, at driving, transportation, delivery, stuff like that. And someday it will come for the trades. But what I can say pretty confidently is the trades are going to be one of the last places that AI is going to be able to come in and take over. So if you want a safe haven from AI, although nothing is safe forever, I think the trades are really the place to be to make sure that you can remain not only employed but thriving for as long as possible as this whole AI revolution takes place. And then finally, one last thing, if you look in the description of this video, if you're watching this when it comes out, I'm actually going to be doing a Masters of Home Service live event. This is through 𝗬𝗢 with their Masters of Home Service podcast. I'm going to be on there doing a live event where we're going to talk a lot about AI, and I'm going to tell you how I personally use AI in my business on a daily basis, and how other tradespeople are, and how you can include AI daily in your business. So with all that being said, I want to remind you guys, there's a lot of resources in the description here, and there's a lot of resources at bulletproofhandyman.com. I have document after document after document that I've made available to you that are going to help you start and run your handyman business. I also have a free masterclass that's literally going to take you step by step. And guys, when I say step by step, I mean it. Every single step. You just watch that video, do that lesson, do what it says, go to lesson number 2, watch the video, do what it says, go to lesson number 3, and by the time you get to the end, if you just keep doing that, you have an up and running handyman business with clients that is making you money, paying your bills, and keeping your family secure. I have hundreds, if not thousands of guys on this channel who have emailed me and messaged me personally and let me know that that's exactly what happened with them. So I want you to just understand, the resources are there, bulletproofhandyman.com, and in the description of this video. The resources are there. The clients are there. You don't have to be an expert. This is all doable right now for you. So if you have some dreams and you want to start your own handyman business, I highly suggest that you get started right away before the field gets flooded with everyone getting displaced from their other jobs by AI. So with all that being said, I love you guys. I hope you're out there killing it, and I'll see y'all on the next one.